Alright, and we are back with round one. We are going to start by following the matchup of Jordan and Zach, because that is the stream that is working. So we've got Jordan looking to be his final build being black, blue, splashing red, although not seeing any blue in hand right now. It's not hurting him too badly. Versus Zach, who we know is on black, white, as well as one of his other teammates. And they're just getting into the game now. What do we think of this hand?
I mean, it looks like Zach's just coming out swinging here. Looking at Jordan's hand, he needs that blue. He's got ways to draw cards. He's got ways to dig. He's got manipulator to slow it down, but he needs to find blue mana in 1 to 2 turns.
Another red source. I can't imagine there's that many in the deck.
No, I think he's playing 3 red cards,
yeah.
something like that.
Really don't love to see it.
He's just kind of he's getting a card out of Zach's hand.
And he'll be able to play the Icy Manipulator next turn, so tapping down Bill. Getting that card out of Zach's hand quite good here. Zach definitely looking to be the aggressor in this matchup, I would say.
And Jordan probably knows that he'll find blue eventually. He's got ways to draw and ways to dig. He doesn't need to.
This is the deck that is definitely looking to stall as long as possible, by any means necessary. So I think he just needs to live this early aggression. That's all he's really looking to do. Looks like Zach
swing for Zach
is going to sack a food to get in that extra damage on Bill. Doesn't cost any mana, so no reason not to. While Jordan's tapped out.
7.
Gonna put Jordan down to 7. Let's see if he can stabilize here. Depends. We know Zach probably has one card in hand that's better than a 2-mana 1/1 that makes you discard. Could even be that Virtue of Loyalty that costs double white, but could at least make the 2/2 for now.
He's got something. He's definitely thinking about doing something here. What is it? Is it a pump spell, a kill spell?
I mean, surely you're not really that worried about your 1/1 dying. Interesting.
Oopsism, because if you do it pre-combat, he's at 4.
Yeah.
But
assumedly that 1 damage isn't going to be the difference maker. I am interested by this unlicensed disintegration by Jordan. Feels like it means he's got a little more red in the deck than I might have expected. Might be more base blue, splash black, or sorry, base black and splash both red and blue, which is something I think Jordan's been doing a lot of lately that I've noticed. To pretty good success, of course.
Let's see. Can Zach figure out a way to get? He's only got to get a few more points in. He missed 1 point of damage
if he has 1 kill spell and Jordan goes to 1.
But then Icy comes down. I guess once Icy comes down, it's
gonna be tough for sure.
Yeah.
Just a bit of a mana investment.
Oh,
the cheeky mouse. Oh.
+1 can't be blocked. So
is that it for Jordan? He can only no. He can block.
No, he can block the 3/1
and then kill one. Once that goes to sack the food. And then we'll see if that extra 1 damage ends up mattering.
Does it kill the pony or the
Gotta be the pony.
Yeah. Go to 2. Zach, okay, he has the plans for the mouse.
Alright. He's hell-bent.
To stop 2 things.
It's another card Jordan can't play.
Blue. Yeah, Manipulator's not good enough anymore.
Drawing a card. Another Spellscorn Coven? I don't think that gets there.
No, it's just...
I think Jordan's looking for another island as the one out. Yeah. Play this Trickster, and that will not do it. Looks like Zach managed to aggro him out, and we will be going to game 2.
Well, what a bad matchup for Jordan, too, though. Like, Zach seems pretty aggressive, and Jordan's trying to go long and stall out.
Absolutely. And, okay, so it looks like 3 mountains in the deck. Actually, more blue sources than black sources. Wow.
It's 3 mountains, and he even has 2 nice little splash lands too. And yeah, the three red cards: Corpse Appraiser, Maestro's Diablos, and Unlicensed Disintegration.
And technically the
Yeah, the
mutt
Mutt.
on the
Yeah.
unearth. But definitely he's got double blue cost, so that seems to be why there's more islands. And so I think, keeping the hand expecting to draw an island is not unreasonable by any means.
No.
And certainly hard to expect in this format to get aggroed out so aggressively.
Yeah, he's got some fun stuff in the sideboard. The Gandalf, um, the Raven form is a nice little blue removal spell. Probably doesn't want stuff like Disdainful Stroke. Seeing how fast Zach was.
Yeah, I'm sure he's looking to lower his curve right now, and I'm not seeing a ton of great options to do so, unfortunately. He's only running. Oh no, he took out the Sunset Pyramid, I see.
Yeah. Well, did he have 2?
He
Or
did
did he
have 2
pass
in
one?
the draft. Okay, he does
Yeah.
have 1 in the deck, so.
I was thinking, like, yeah, Sunset
Yeah, yeah.
Pyramid, it's a great card, but it's not great when your opponent's playing 3-1s and you're playing
You'll
Sunset
notice that Dreadwolfkin in the sideboard.
Pyramid.
That could have been a feed the swarm. Not that Paying Life would have really gone over well in this matchup anyway.
But hey, it does. Here we go, ready for game 2.
Alright, going into game 2, I assume Jordan chose to go first still, even in this matchup. He's got some plays. He's certainly going to need a couple more lands, but I think it's a pretty easy keep.
The Null Priest is pretty nice.
Certainly a nice early creature that he needs in this matchup.
I'll say, I wonder if he has ways to trigger Prized Amalgam, but I guess it's Null Priest. Null Priest is what you need.
Very true. He's got the combo ready to go.
Oh,
He's drawn another one of his red cards.
Yeah, another one of his red cards. 2 out of 3. No red mana and no third land.
No third land
which,
yet.
I mean, it's a scary proposition. No third land.
Okay.
But hey,
there we go. Says I'm gonna go ahead and get in while I can with my lifelink.
Try and gain what you can now.
Not worth killing. Just gonna run out the 3/3. Hope to get a couple more lands and one of them to be a mountain.
Yeah. You need another swamp for the shatter. Okay.
Very true.
I like it.
Another aggressive play by Zach. Definitely what his deck's good at. Definitely putting in work for him here.
Jordan's coming
Jordan
back for
deciding
5.
to race back. I think that's probably correct in this position. You can't assume you're going to be able to block.
Yeah, not right now.
Against this deck, and you've got 2 interaction spells. Sort of slow him down.
I wonder if Zach realizes that he kind of needs to start blocking.
I wonder if he's expecting a counter spell here. If you're staring down 2 blue open mana, and you're worried about a counter, which Jordan almost has.
Yeah, he kind of does. I mean, with the way the life tools are, if Zach swings and goes to play a 4-drop and it doesn't happen, like,
it's gonna look pretty
bad crackback.
I think in this position you probably try and play main phase 1, see if Jordan does anything, and then decide on the swing. Though I can't say swinging is good either way, really.
Right? Zach wants to be fast, and he doesn't want Jordan to go long. Jordan's missing land drops. That's all stuff that Zach should be happy about, but...
The lifelinker really putting in a lot of work. I imagine the scry off the Sunscribe's pretty tempting.
Yeah, it is. But that Menace lifelink 2 a turn is, that's bad for your
absolutely adds up in the aggro matchup.
And again, his creatures also just don't really match up. 2/1 menace, 3/3. Just the 3/3 alone is like it's the biggest thing on the board.
Not, as I say, I have a hard time with cards like Amalgamation where they have a lot of text on them, and I don't think I have a lot of ways to trigger that text in my deck, but it's pretty good stats. Like
Yeah.
a 2 mana 2/3 in the regular league season, I was playing a 2 mana 2/3 that cared about exploring, and it was like I'm never gonna explore, but I gotta play it. It's in my colors. It appears Jordan's stream has died. Feels like the Discers are having a hard time with their streams tonight.
Daniel's stream
Daniel's streams is up, so we're gonna check in on him. He is playing, with his blue-green deck, we'll see if he's splashing white, is playing versus Paul on the red-blue game plan.
Yeah, but it looks like he's a game up on him.
Indeed. Bit down on life right now on the game going second. But, you know, lots of good cards in hand, and the weirding wood on the board tells me he might be splashing, or at the very least heavily ramping.
Yeah, which it looks like it's working out. I mean, he's got the 7-drop in the graveyard he could probably cast.
I have to assume
this ready to come down.
The spider food was a sideboard choice against Paul's got a couple of blue flyers in there.
I like what I'm seeing on Paul's side, too. I mean, Organ Hoarder's a great card, and Vortex Runner. Daniel's at 11. I mean, he doesn't need to do that much more damage to him. Going face.
Aggressive. Means he can get in with that Organ Hoarder.
Instant, yeah. 11-6.
It appears Jordan's game is back up, so we're going to switch back to that. Sorry, folks.
Sure.
Looks like the game has progressed so that we've gotten the Coven on the field. Jordan's gotten 2 more lands. He probably played that big 5-drop kill spell. Zach probably got Bill on the field to get those 2 foods going.
Yeah.
And Jordan is continuing the beats.
Never found the red mana, didn't need it. Didn't matter. I guess he's
got the food, so he'll live this turn, but
it doesn't look
not looking great, certainly.
With Icy down
and another kill spell in hand.
Yeah. Sure, why not?
I think you activate, yeah. I think it's an activate and make him have it.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's got it.
That keeps him alive.
Yeah.
Trades off, stays alive, does trigger Drag the Canal.
Yeah, that's just not good.
2 swamps off the top. What more could you ask for?
Is that a treasure or is that a clue? It's a
That's a clue.
Right.
So
Nice.
he's probably gonna crack that.
Zach at 1. Really at 4.
Yeah.
So we can take 1 hit.
But he's gonna need an answer and blockers because of the Icy Manipulator.
Yeah, he doesn't have it. Kill spell.
Yeah, I think Jordan probably gonna kill the mouse here and tap the Pariah and call it a day. Because Zach cannot afford to play something and crack the food. Yep, that'll be game 3.
Alright.
Of course, Zach will be on the play in this one, so Jordan's got his work cut out for him. I might put in maybe like an Arcane Investigator, maybe? Some sort of 2. Maybe the Berserker. I would just love another low drop, perhaps. I mean, his 2 slot's pretty full, but some of these 4 drops maybe are a little underwhelming.
I might swap out some of the red. We've had problems in that red's been messing us up.
That I very much agree with as well.
Like, first game, you had all red, no blue. Second game, You
I'm
draw two of the
also
red
wondering
cards.
how many ways does he have to enchant a creature for the Eidolon? I mean, it is a lifelinker, but it's a sort of surprising include for me.
I think he brought it in after the first game as,
That
as
makes sense. That's fair.
a low drop thing.
I think that's very fair, and we did see Zach did have 2-1 specifically, so I think that's
Mm-hmm.
actually very
And
fair.
lifelink, like that lifelink, he wins
Lifelink made
at
all
least
the
in
difference
my
in that game.
yeah.
Meant he could be on the attack. Null Priest, the absolute perfect card in this matchup. Zach saw one of his bums in the Pariah that game, was a bit too late. Hasn't seen uh the night adventure yet. I think that would probably end a game quite quickly. Very reasonable hand from Jordan going second. Of course, as always, needs a couple more lands, but
And Zach's coming out with a 1-drop.
makes a lot of sense. I think it's what his deck's trying to do, and I think that's quite the good one. Followed by a 2. Jordan cannot afford to
He's
play the
playing the
Crooked Custodian right now,
tribute
but
to Hirobi.
gives him a 1-1. Interesting.
Yeah, he's gonna give him some rats. That is interesting.
That's a bit risky, but hopefully the Eternal can lock down the board after this.
I wonder if he's seen a mass board pump or not.
I believe the only one we know of besides the White Adventure rare is On the Job, and I don't think we've seen that in either game yet. So I don't think he knows to be afraid of it by any means.
He could be curving into like a real nasty turn 4.
Quite bad. Jordan eyeing this Vengeful Rebel, trying to think how he can get Revolt to trigger. Can't say. I
think he's wondering,
particularly know.
like, if this saga flips, does that trigger? Maybe? Or
I
if one of
think
the
so, because
tokens?
it leaves the battlefield to transform, I believe. It exiles and comes back, these sagas. When they hit their last one, I guess we'll find out.
He's got the double white. Does he have it?
He did get to scry last turn. Jordan.
This could be a big dud.
No. The one board pump.
I mean,
Devastating.
He's gonna get the rats. He's gonna...
Okay, so I would say that saga left the battlefield. He's got 2 tapped rats.
It was a big hit, but yeah, he's gonna stabilize now.
I think he can stabilize. He can sack a rat. He's got a 3-2 to block. Zach's low on cards, but not that low. We'll see.
Yeah,
that was one of his best ways to push damage, but I think that was certainly the turn to do it.
Yeah, you had to do it there. But can he find 6 more?
It's a bit harder without those ping lands from OTJ that I'm used to. But we know he's got things like the Mouse Adventure can help sneak some damage in.
Yeah, I wonder if he can jump this or fly it. Pariah.
Pariah.
He just eats a removal spell, though.
Yeah, I think if I was Jordan, I would just fire off the Shatter.
Yeah.
I don't think you've seen a better target from him by any means, and you really want to keep getting it in the air. Keep your card draw flowing. Oh, he's considering not sacrificing. He says, I have enough cards, I need to not die.
I mean, that's very true.
That's very fair. I have a lot of respect for the caution. Especially as I think you almost don't want this chaplain to flip because it comes a flyer on the back, right?
Yeah, and then that's a lot harder to block. You don't want to leave your 4/4 back.
Well, in case you thought the pump spell wasn't good enough, it also left this clue. See if Zach can find anything to do here.
Man, this Hirobi just took over the game.
On both sides, I would say.
Yeah, and it looked bad for Jordan at first, and then it flipped around, and Zach hasn't been able to do anything about it.
There's the
There we
kill spell. Makes sense. We know he's got a lot of them in his deck.
still can't do much though. Oh, but
Oh, what a
oh,
great
that was
draw.
well, there's something in there.
What? How much is the kicker on this guy?
It's 4 or 5.
I feel
He
like it's
might be able to kick
4.
it. Yeah, I think it's 4 too. Yeah, I think he can kick it. Get back the Avon or get back the Rebel.
Oh, instead of going for the Scourge?
Jordan would have loved that kicker blue card because he's got all
Yeah,
the
the
Scourge
Roost
on
of
his team.
Drakes would have gone very hard
Yeah.
in this deck.
All right. Can you steal 6 damage here? So he's tapped out. He's got a flyer blocker. That's it. I just don't know.
What is the
So
text
tough.
on Scourge that is making it an 11/11?
I don't know.
I have not seen this card enough. Let me look this guy up. When casts a spell, if it is kicked, each player loses half their life rounded up. Its power and toughness are equal to 20 minus the highest life total among players. So,
Which is
late
9.
game, quite a big boy.
Yep.
I quite agree with just running out all the boys while the board was pretty empty. Wait to see if anything eats a removal spell and then maybe go for the Null Priest.
Yeah, I mean,
Hopefully
it's
the
just
lifelink on will stabilize.
well, Zach can't even really block. He's only got one creature that can block right now.
He'll then be attacking with the Vengeful Strangler, which I'm not sure that you want to flip here. I'm not sure how bad that is for Jordan. Especially if you can get the Null Priest online to start negating that damage.
Yeah.
Zach can't really afford to swing. He's got to do something about this 11/11.
Well, even then, even if he's... Oh, here comes
Oh,
Helios.
here's Heliod. On the back, the Vengeful Strangler would make him sacrifice and lose a life, which would not be too bad on this board, but probably a bit slow given the threats that Jordan is now presenting.
Yeah, Jordan's just pushing so much right now.
And I think he's probably correct, especially knowing you have this Null Priest to back it up.
Yeah.
Question is, does he fire it off now or does he wait?
I don't even know that he needs to.
Because he doesn't know if Zach has a board clear. He probably knows that Daniel took a white board clear, but that doesn't guarantee that there wasn't another one in the draft.
Yeah. That just tells them that they're out there.
Right. So there's some chance you should save it, but there's also some chance when you're at 6 that you just want to cushion as much as possible. So he needs to decide if he's willing to take 2 damage now or 1 damage on his upkeep.
Yeah. I guess he's thinking, like, is there a a way you can make me lose 4 life somehow?
Certainly not impossible to double pump on the Strangler. We know there's like a Flare of Faith and things like that out there. Oh, so now he needs to decide what to attach it to. I thought it enchanted the player, but no, it enchants the permanent.
Yeah, because if you sack the permanent,
now he
it
can
goes
just
away.
sacrifice and just lose the 1 life.
Yeah.
And looks like he's probably going to use it to crew before that happens.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which I think makes a lot of sense. It appears to have not triggered. Excuse me while I try and figure out why.
No, I definitely should have, I'm sure.
Maybe it's on Zach's upkeep that it will trigger?
Maybe.
Not quite my understanding of the card, but Still a
It
great
could
swing
be.
by Jordan. I agree. I think it's a swing out. The lifelink and no cards in Zach's hand. Very little that can go wrong here. I suppose he could make sure that Jordan doesn't get the lifelink by blocking the Null Priest with the first strike, but yeah.
No.
That's it for that one. We will hop over to Daniel's stream now to catch the end of his game.
No, looks like they're in game 3. So looks like
yeah.
Paul got that last game we saw for a second.
Wow. So it looks like we're in game 3. Behold on step 2, about to flip into a creature on the next turn. Daniel with a Saw It Coming foretold. So we'll get that added benefit on that if he decides to use it here. He can also just use the contact other plane if he prefers. I agree. I think you're up on life. You just take the creature to hand here. You have better things to counter. Although if Paul has seen the counter spell in a previous game, he might literally see it coming. So maybe he's not willing to play his good creatures right now, but that's also a valid thing with your opponent knowing you have a counter spell, is you make them play worse things.
You can't just simple stroke the Preening Champion.
Sort of surprised Preening Champion was not worth Saw It Coming.
And he just added a lot to his board, and Daniel's just going to
draw some cards. He does have the flipped Behold coming.
That's true.
But still,
7/7.
He had a lot of cards in hand. I would have liked to stop the board from growing personally. But I'm not a control player. And maybe he was looking for a target for his spider food in hand. That he wouldn't have had otherwise.
But he really just wants to stabilize and back up everything with his
and having more cards in hand does make the vision bigger.
Yeah.
Which is certainly a notable upside.
Let's see, this I guess he's pulling up both counters. But he can only cast one.
Assumingly, if you're casting Disdainful Stroke, that should be the only thing that turn.
Well, he gets Saw It Coming if Paul tries to sneak in something smaller than Disdainful Stroke 2.
Certainly.
But I don't know if Daniel cares, because he didn't counter the Preening Champion.
Yeah, and I don't know what much better there is under 4. But maybe he's looking more to protect his own creatures. We know there's a lot of red burn in Paul's deck.
Yeah, that's true.
I will note there's a big thing going around about how scrying is a lot more important than you think, and like having good scry abilities is actually very important. Of like, Daniel decided there to keep a land as one of his 2 cards that he was going to draw, which meant he had enough to play out the big creature and hold the counterspell. And I think a lot of people, myself included, your instinct when you scry and you see a land, you've already got 5 or 6 on the field, is to throw it away without thinking about it. And certainly I think people that are better at control are better about this, but I think that was certainly something he did quite good there, of keeping that land to say, I have enough interaction and things that I'm doing, I just need to be able to cast my spells.
Yeah, he's like, I got a handful of cards, I just need to keep on playing lands.
Exactly.
I'll keep drawing more cards. I wonder if he has anything to grab with this carriage. I don't think he does.
Nothing comes to mind. I would be curious.
Let's see, what can Paul do here?
Yep.
Goes for the fireball.
Looks like we are going to go for the counterspell to protect the creatures, which I agree with. Makes sense. It's that red burn I was afraid of.
Yep. And he still has the sod coming up for the next one.
Yep. And if he can keep both his flyers alive, it's looking pretty good for the next turn.
Yep.
Assuming he doesn't need to cast anything from his hand right away.
Could be a fast start for the Discers.
Mm-hmm.
The all-in swing.
I like it. I have a lot of respect for it.
He's only got one blocker. Ooh, but he has the
Think
flash counter guy.
That's the target he was looking for.
Yeah, that can
And
go away.
very nice it's not coming out of your hand, so it doesn't decrease your vision count. Oh, and the counter.
But he still has the spider food and the rabbit bite. I guess those are both sorceries?
Yes, unfortunately, he will be able to eat the 2/2. Still going to 1 though.
Still going to 1. Still doesn't feel great.
Oh, but this land is not sorcery speed like a lot of the New Age ones.
Oh, so you can put
So
a card
he's
in
putting
his
a
hand
card
and
into his
lethal?
hand right now
Oh my gosh, what a
for
play.
exact lethal.
Jeez, this is why the Discers are who they are. Holy cow.
I believe if Paul had blocked the other way, you would have prevented 3 out of 5 damage and gone to 1. Still would not have looked good for him, and I assume would have died on the next turn, but quite the play, and I would expect nothing less from Daniel.
Yeah, that's very, very nice.
Let's just peek in on Sawyer's game, the last one of the round. Looks like he is just about to go into game 3 with Mitch.
Yeah, so a win here means a 3-0 sweep in the first round by the Discers.
Bunch of game 3s for round 1, so all very close, no blowouts.
How many games do they have to win to build?
5. You need to get 5 out of the 9.
Are there points? Do the points matter at this point, or is it just
no, it's just wins. Everyone went in with 17, so all the points were even. And it was just win the semis. It didn't matter how much you won them by.
So yeah, Sawyer wins this. They're
looking quite good.
Halfway.
Looks like Sawyer's just running the Aurelia and the Cabaretti charm as far as white cards. Which I think is very fair, very reasonable.
I think he did get the Rocco.
Oh, I didn't think to check. He's not
playing it. But
okay, yeah, I do think he had it, and I think his teammates who helped build his deck for him, while he was slightly busy to start the round, decided ultimately that Rocco wasn't quite worth it like the other cards were. As far as the splash, which I think is fair. I don't think he has a ton of ramp. I think Daniel probably has most of the ramp. And so Rocco becomes slightly less good. Ooh.
One land into
9 of your main color. That is tough.
You're playing tippled on 3. That's something.
I do agree with putting back the invasion, saying I need to get a green anyway, and at that point, I've got all my colors. 2 good red cards, but we'll need to find that green to get anywhere. Well, that's a 2-drop.
Or we just find more red cards.
Yeah, I mean, if he only draws red cards, that also works.
Yeah, and I haven't seen much of Mitch's deck yet, so...
yes, Mitch, the other black-white player for the Offenders at large, he seems to have more of a flying game plan than Zach. I think Zach is a very aggressive, low-to-the-ground deck, and I think Mitch has a lot of card draw in black and then flyers in white. Both with lots of removal. Red Cap Thief is a very funny one.
Like, what are we doing? Are we Tybalting or are we thiefing? They both seem great.
Both seem great here. I think I go Thief. It blocks the 2/2 quite nicely.
Yeah, then you can get down.
Set you up to play your green card if you need to.
Oh.
But I certainly have no problem with the Tybalt. Yeah, but you don't defend him very good. I guess the 1/1 imp does trade with the 2/2 just fine.
Yeah,
I don't hate it.
but also like not having that treasure means that if you don't draw land, you're not playing a 4 or 5 next turn.
Yeah, it would have meant if he drew a land, he could play the Hauler the next turn, but he might be saying, I want to save the treasure for even more impact, perhaps. Maybe distract Mitch with the Planeswalker here.
I mean, it's a nice trade. Token that Tybalt made for a real card,
It's a beautiful trade as far as I'm
and then
concerned.
he's gonna make another one that can
Yeah.
do it again.
If I'm Mitch there, I'm not sure I swing in.
Well, he got an extra
No,
card
the
out of it. I
fa-
guess. I guess.
with the Faramir in hand, I take it all back.
No, it's like I don't know. I don't know. Oh, okay, but now that
Nope.
we did that, it all makes sense.
I take it all back.
But again, we did not draw that fourth land.
So it's gonna be the Thief this turn. So we had the option to Sniper plus Chomp to take out the Faramir, but that does not feel great, especially when you're down cards and missing a color.
No.
I don't
I
really
wonder if
think it's the
Mitch
play.
take it out. He's probably starting to notice something's not right over there.
Yeah. Certainly in game 3, he probably knows. That's not right.
Oh, a
Another
big
big boy.
That is going to be tough. Oh, there's a Clash of Titans, but we got, we're so far away.
You're really gonna need another land for that one.
Oh,
At
man,
this
what do
point,
you
if
do?
you're Sawyer, do you play Guide to try and get that land?
You might have to. None of these other red cards are really doing anything anyway.
I think you have to, because you're still holding the Chomp, I think.
And you don't really take any land at the same time,
Right.
even a red, because you're getting a little to something else.
Yep. It gets him closer to the 5th land one way or another.
Let's see, Mitch is at 5. He's got the blood token. He's got 7 cards in hand? 6 cards in hand.
6 cards, yeah. And a great board. So it's
Yeah.
shaping up to be a long game.
We'll see. I don't think Mitch wants it to be a long game.
Certainly not. Mitch can get a big flyer. I know he has 2 5-mana 3/4 flyers. I think would be quite the pain for Sawyer. He would have to use his Clash on that as soon as he could. Really just putting more hard to deal with bodies on the board, I think, would be great for Mitch here.
Yeah, that 4/5 Death Touch is
Quite the problem, especially with 6 open mana in black and white. Blocking that thing is a nightmare.
It looks really, really scary.
Oh,
look, they got some little notes.
We see the notes come into play.
2 to 2x.
Knew they had to have something going on. And it appears that Chomp is a sorcery speed as well. So he has the Sniper as an option. But it's certainly a risky block proposition.
Yeah, it feels scary here, but you also don't want to give him a food token and take 4. But if it dies, doesn't he draw a card off Faramir?
I believe so.
It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, Faramir is almost more of a problem than the Scream Puff, because it's gonna turn all these cards into cards.
Agreed. But he doesn't have any clean answers to Faramir in hand currently that he can cast.
Maybe, like, draw land, twin shot plus chomp.
If the Scream Puff lives, you can Clash of Titan it.
Just feels bad.
Oh, he can block with the Imp, deal a damage to Faramir, and finish it off with the Sniper.
There you go.
I think that's probably what Sawyer's going to go here for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. See, he found the clean answer.
I always knew he would. He still has the Scream Puff to deal with, but I think...
We'll see. Mitch could also save it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what Mitch has got. He could have anything.
The only thing I know of in his deck are a couple of big flyers and a lot of kill spells.
He's been thinking about something. Drawing some cards.
And lots of card draw in black.
Sure. Draw some cards, make a food. Kill it
Looks like
now.
Sawyer's debating killing it before he gets 2 more cards in hand. I don't hate it.
Yeah, you gotta do it at some point. It's a good time.
Don't know how many answers to that Mitch could have in his deck. How many, fake your own death effects he could have, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Flare of Faith, buffing human sort of deal.
Man, these mana. I mean, Sawyer's got a great board, but
He's got some fantastic cards.
he gets to start pushing damage. What this is?
The question is, do you push damage because Mitch will be making food back?
That's true. But I mean, are you blocking? Are you winning a game where you're blocking a double
Can't
block and a
imagine.
4/5 death touch and not playing cards in your hand? Like you don't have green. You don't know if green's coming next turn. I don't know.
It's not like Tybalt. Oh, actually, the Tybalt is currently stopping Mitch from gaining life, right?
Oh, see, yeah, players can't gain life. Although, I guess Mitch could see that and go after it. He's at 7.
Because technically, Sawyer has lethal on board if Mitch doesn't have blockers and can't gain life.
Yeah. Because even if he swings at Tybalt, I mean, Sawyer can just jump if he thinks that like he can steal this.
Wow. Glistening Deluge. Now there is a sideboard card.
Yeah, and there's the
Brutal.
Alright, life gains back on the table.
He did not make a food from that because he did not hit face, but I think it was well worth it to allow for it in the future.
Another green card.
Just absolutely sad to see from Sawyer. And there's that glorious protector Jordan passed. Out a land here. Even with a land, Sawyer can get rid of one of these creatures, but would still have quite the uphill battle to go.
Yeah, and if it's not a green, it's just things are not really happening.
Just deeply unlucky on these land draws.
But it's not over.
And having found one with the Explorer even.
Yeah, it's
But no, you absolutely can never count the Discers out. I've seen them come back from way, way worse.
Yep. Oh, Curse of the Stash Skeleton.
Interesting one. I know Mitch has some goodies like this Protector and like Subjugator Angel to try and find.
Oh.
Sad news from Sawyer's side.
Yeah. It's not happening. Unfortunate. But it means that we got, the, what are they? The offenders at large. They have a chance. They're one game closer. One game further away for the Discord.
Well, I am excited to see Sawyer's deck do a lot better in the future. I think he's got a lot of cool cards. But we will call it there for round 1 and be back with round 2 here shortly.